Half in the bag. Fuck movies.
This one might take a little bit of work.
Oh, hi Jay, I didn't know you were there.
I'm always here.
So I've been looking into how we can get power of attorney over Mr. Plinkett, and it's quite simple actually. So if the person is like really, really old and confused or has dementia and can't handle their own affairs, then it's easy to become power of attorney. The problem is though, you have to be a relative or a family member.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's quite a big hurdle to get around, but I found a way. Since gay marriage is now legal, I went ahead and filed the paperwork for you to become Mr. Plinkett's husband.
Hey, wait a minute.
What? Do you have a problem with that? Don't you like unlimited money? He gets checks from Medicare, from Social Security, disability, his pension, and he gets checks for his time when he was a war criminal in Colombia.
That is a lot of checks. But...
What? Are you homophobic? Sign here. Great.
Well, I would rather fraudulently marry an elderly man than have anyone think I'm a homophobe.
And you don't have to consummate the marriage unless you want to. Sign here for consummation rights.
I'll pass on that for right now.
And this line here indicates that Mr. Plinkett has reserved the right for prima nocta.
Well, I gotta say, this is a pretty clever plan, Mike.
Why, thank you.
So you actually got Mr. Plinkett to sign off on this too?
More or less. Do you remember when we had to order parts and I had Mr. Plinkett sign off on them? Well, that's when I had him sign the marriage license.
So you just tricked him into signing a paper that he didn't realize he was consenting to?
Yes, very fraudulent. That's why I hired a lawyer for us.
Oh!
He's going to put together the paperwork to make us power of attorney. And because Mr. Plinkett didn't know what document he was signing, the lawyer's going to look the other way in exchange for 10% of all the money that comes in, which is a pretty fair deal.
Oh, sure, that's fine. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, he wrote his number down here on this legal pad, and I'm going to call him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What's that?
Oh, nothing. It's just that the lawyer's office number is only 1 digit away from Mr. Plinkett's home phone number.
Oh, which one?
Why, the last digit, of course. I'm going to call the number right now.
Okay.
What was that?
I think it was a siren or something
Ambulance?
outside. Yeah.
Oh well. One more number to complete the call. Hello, Mr. Friedman. It's Mike and Jay from Lightning Fast VCR Repair. I got Jay to sign the marriage license, which makes him Mr. Plinkett's fraudulent husband. We're ready to come by any time to fill out the paperwork to make us power of attorney over him so that we could steal all of his money.
Yeah, that's great, Mike. I'll be in my office until 5:30.
Okay, sounds great. We'll see you then. Bye-bye, man. Oh,
Mike, don't think it, don't say it!
don't think it, don't say it. La La Land.
Mike, don't think it, don't say it!
Don't think it, don't say it. Bye-bye, man. La La Land. Don't think it, don't say it. Bye-bye, man. La La Land. Don't think it, don't say it. Bye-bye, man. La La Land. Hello? Bye-bye, man. Oh no, I did it again! From the director of Whiplash comes another one of his shitty movies. Just give up already, Yui Bull. Your movies suck! This latest film is a musical comedy drama starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone as people trying to make it in Los Angeles. Hey, genius! Guess what? They already did make it. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone have been in a ton of movies. What are you, stupid? Well, Jay, what did you think of the critically acclaimed La 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 Land? La La Land,
Lulland?
which is Los Angeles.
Oh, is that what it means? The whole time I was thinking, when are they going to get to La La Land? I thought it was like National Lampoon's Vacation, and they were going to go on a little road trip and get to the theme park.
Right.
The moose out front should have told you. I was waiting for all this to happen. When are they going to get to La La Land? I think this movie's going to sweep the Academy Awards, because if it's one thing they love, it's movies where Hollywood sucks its own dick.
Oh.
This is a fine film. I understand why a lot of people like it. It had a big hurdle to get over for me, which is I don't care about musicals. There's a couple that I like, but in general, it's not my thing. I don't like movies about the glamour and trying to make it in LA and Hollywood. I don't care about that shit. And I didn't particularly like either of the main characters. So I liked the movie on almost every technical aspect, and that's kind of it for me.
It was a little uneven in lots of parts. But overall, I liked it a lot. And I was thinking about this because the other film we're reviewing is called The Bye Bye Man.
Well, yeah, we have to set this up. This is the introduction of our new segment on the show, which is Mike and Jay review 2 movies that have been out for a while because the titles sound funny when you say them together.
Right.
That's TM. That's the official name of the segment.
Yes, La La Land and Bye Bye Man. 2 similar sounding names, but 2 very different films.
Both critically acclaimed, though.
Yes, that's true. No, I liked La La Land a lot. I wouldn't say it was a perfect movie or that it was spectacular or anything, but I felt a lot of emotion in it. It was something that was refreshing and different because I was going to reference Bye Bye Man. Bye Bye Man attempted to create a new horror character.
By remaking every other horror franchise ever.
Yes, it was very derivative.
Yes.
But they tried to make a new horror character. It wasn't a remake or a sequel or a reboot. And then La La Land was a musical. The last time we saw a musical was that terrible, terrible movie with all those people in it that was panned widely. I think it was Les Miserables.
Oh.
With Anne Look at Me Hathaway. And I think a Wolverine singing in it. It's like a disaster. I didn't see it, but this wasn't like a musical like that. It was a throwback to like the glamour 1950s, like that kind
the
of
old
era.
Hollywood. Not just in terms of musicals, but the movie itself feels sort of nostalgic for that era.
It's very nostalgic and but with a little bit of a modern day twist, but without getting too cynical. And I think that's kind of where some of the unevenness came from. Well, Ryan Gosling plays a hipster who is into jazz.
Yes.
And he's like a hardcore jazz purist. And Emma Stone, I want to say Emma Watson. Emma Stone.
Emma Watson was who was originally cast in this.
That's just fucking crazy.
She dropped out too.
I don't care. And don't even bother telling me why. So Emma Stone plays, a barista actress who's going to endless auditions and trying to live the typical Hollywood dream. But there's a scene when Ryan Gosling surprises her with dinner and they have that conversation, and it's basically like, Ryan Gosling kind of sells out to be a performer. And then, so the focus of the 2 characters and what their careers are, and like, it had this like moment where it's like, oh, this is going to be a movie about following your dreams. Yeah. And then she's also successful, and then it goes back and forth. And so the narrative wasn't quite clear. Yeah. The parts that worked for me were the magical musical numbers, and the opening was simply fabulous.
See,
the freeway
that's something
overpass.
I don't hear you say very often.
It was great.
It was fabulous.
And then there's a part where they go to the Griffith Observatory and they're dancing, and then they start floating up into the planetarium dome, and then it's like and then that's kind of like contrasted with some really like realistic character stuff. And so
see, that's sort of, this is weird. I'm like on the exact opposite end, which is the magical musical numbers for the most part didn't work for me, but the more character driven scenes did.
Oh no, the character driven scenes worked. I'm saying they conflicted a little.
Oh, sure,
just a little.
That's why I didn't get into the musical numbers, because it almost felt like with the tone the movie was going for, it kind of came to a halt to do these magical musical numbers.
Right.
It felt at odds with the tone of the rest of the movie, which is a little more grounded and real. Yeah. And I mean, clearly these are smart people. That's what they were going for, but it didn't work for me at all.
It's pretty strange that we keep running into each other.
Maybe it means something.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. You could just write your own rules, you know, write something that's as interesting as you are.
What are you gonna do?
I have my own club.
I thought the tone needed to be a little less grounded, more whimsy, and it needed more music.
Yeah, the second half of the movie kind of seems to forget that it's a musical for the most part when it gets more focused on the characters and the drama between them. And then all of a sudden Emma Stone goes to an audition, she starts singing again, and I was like, oh, that's right, it's a musical.
Yeah, there's a lull in the middle where there's a lack of songs, and it's different in like the traditional musical sense where it's like boom, 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 you know, set up a scene, music, song, set up a scene, song. It kind of takes its own structure. Yeah, it was a throwback thing. It was paying homage to, you know, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, 1950s, especially the opening credits, like presented in CinemaScope, and you know, it was going for the old Hollywood thing, and then they had like some imagery in there, like, you know, they had this mural on the wall, and
that mural, by the way, is also featured in the critically acclaimed film Hollywood Cop.
Very, very similar film.
Absolutely.
Emma Stone was a lot better than Ryan Gosling.
That's what I wanted to mention. Another problem I had with the movie is that I haven't read any reviews of this, so I don't know if people are saying like they have great chemistry or blah blah blah. I thought they had no chemistry.
You have two actors who have an on-screen chemistry that I think is one for the ages.
Great chemistry or blah blah blah. I thought they had no chemistry.
An on-screen chemistry.
I thought they had no chemistry. I thought they had no chemistry. I thought they had no chemistry. I thought they both worked well individually and their scenes apart from each other. Like Emma Stone going to audition, she comes across very sort of vulnerable and believable. And Ryan Gosling almost seems like he's acting sarcastically through the whole movie.
Or one more dream that I cannot make true.
There's a little bit of that.
And the scenes where they're together, I didn't feel any, like that's, which for a movie like this, where it's essentially a love story, you need that connection, and I didn't feel that.
It's a hard thing to direct this movie because it's like, do you have them play it like a chipper 1950s musical, or are they going to come off looking foolish if it fails, you know?
I'll do it, Don. I'll do it, but I never want to see you again, on or off the screen.
And that's the clash I felt through the whole movie, which is sort of what kept me from getting more into it, other than just sort of marveling at the you know, all the technique involved in making the movie. Like all the musical numbers, lots of long one-shot takes. The cinematography's gorgeous. Like everything looks great. I
mean, it's a nice-looking movie, but I thought it also conflicted a little because there's times where it looks like a horror movie. You know,
I noted right at the beginning, and you had mentioned the opening musical number on the bridge with all the traffic being fabulous. Right off the bat, I was like, something's awkward. And I think it was everyone starts dancing towards the camera, and the sun is behind them, and they're like incomplete, like their faces are completely dark, and they're singing and dancing, and I was like, they're in shadow, and it was very bizarre.
Yeah.
And then the camera flips around, and everybody's brightly lit because the sun is facing them, and I was like, okay, well they're doing this outside in real lighting, like they can't, you know, they can't fake everything. But it was distracting when the very first shot and the very first musical number, and everyone's just, their face is dark.
Right. It had, when you see people singing and dancing, like, you know, if it was a scene from a movie where there's like an earthquake going on, or, you know, you'd be like, whatever.
That's a different thing.
But if they're singing and dancing, they're like breaking that fourth wall, and the lighting needs to as well. Yeah. Like there's a dance number in the apartment that she shares with 3 other women, and they're kind of like dancing, and it just looks like a scene from a movie. It needs more color. It needs to pop.
Well, I think
it needs to be more vibrant.
It's tricky because I think that's what they were going for, to make a musical that still feels somewhat grounded in reality. But I think in order to really buy a musical where people just start singing and dancing out of nowhere, you need a little bit of artifice.
Yeah. It's a lot of different pieces to try and put into a film to make it work, and I think they did a very good job. Not an excellent job, but a very good job, because I found myself enjoying it, and I found myself feeling emotional. And I haven't felt that in a movie in about 32 years. Certainly not in another film that I saw that's an Oscar bait, Oscar contender movie. And this is not an official review, but I saw Manchester by the Sea.
Oh, yeah. I have not seen that yet.
It's a good movie. It's a lot of great acting, but it's like a mumblecore movie. Everyone's talking over each other. Everyone's miserable, and it's gray, and it's about people dying in a fire.
Now, can you imagine if they broke out into like tap dance numbers in that movie?
I would love it.
Then you got something.
But that, and I don't know, I just was like, hey, this is nice. This is different.
It's a very pleasant movie.
Yeah, pleasant. I think is a bit condescending.
I don't mean to be condescending. I mean, most people, well, clearly everybody loves this movie. It's doing great. It's gotten great reviews. There's just so many elements of it that didn't really work for me, even outside of just it being a musical. Like, clearly that's a detriment for my personal enjoyment right there, but
I like musicals.
just as a story, like, I don't know.
I even like Grease 2. I'm that guy. I like Grease 2.
We referenced Grease 2 in a recent video.
I know.
I didn't even realize that's what it was a reference to when we did it.
Let's bowl, let's rock and roll.
Let's bowl, let's rock and roll. Hey, come on.
Is bowling a metaphor for fucking?
Everything is a metaphor for fucking in the Grease films today. Well, no spoilers on La La Land, because I found the ending very satisfying.
Yes, the ending actually elevated a lot of the movie for me, because I wasn't really connecting with the characters that much, and then we get to the end and it's like, oh, okay, it's about something a little bit bigger thematically than just these people trying to make it in LA. Yeah. It becomes about something a little broader thanks to the ending, and I thought that worked really well.
Yeah, it does a lot of work to build up to that ending, and then it lets it all out.
It almost feels like someone had an idea for this ending, and then they just kind of like built a movie around getting to that point.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that was the only kind of emotionally resonant stuff for me, was that ending.
La La Land, check it out. It's going to win all the Oscars.
If I tell you about him, you and your kids, you're all dead.
From the acclaimed director of Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, which is a real movie apparently, comes The Bye Bye Man, a new horror film that's the cinematic equivalent of a dumpster fire. For no reason at all, if you say the name Bye Bye Man, he'll come to kill you and anyone you tell the name to. So don't think it, don't say it. This guy must work a lot of overtime. Also, he has a dog creature that wandered in from the theater next door playing the latest Resident Evil film. Mike!
Oh.
Mike! What did you think of The Bye Bye Man?
Well, did you know that Ryan Gosling turned down the lead role in The Bye Bye Man to star in La La Land?
Oh, okay.
He said, Bye Bye Man, La La Land, Bye Bye Man, La La Land, La La Land. Anyway, a Bye Bye Man was a dumpster fire. What can I say?
This is, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think this may very well be the absolute worst movie that we've ever done on Half in the Bag.
It's a shockingly bad film.
It's amazingly bad. It's the closest we've come to a Half in the Bag movie that feels like it should probably be on Best of the Worst instead.
It's just like they failed on such a grand scale.
Please don't make me say it.
Yeah, everything. I mean, we've seen movies that I've probably hated more, but this one, like every aspect of it, except the fact that the shots were in focus. But this has some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a major release, and I'm sure we'll get into that. The story makes absolutely no sense, and worst of all, it's fucking boring for the first hour. The last half hour has some unintentionally funny parts, but the rest of it, I can't remember the last movie we saw where I just wanted to get up and leave the theater, like while it was playing. I almost couldn't take it. I was like, I was struggling to stay awake, to be honest with you. It was so boring.
It reminds me of when we did that bit when we made up the plot for like Grandma in the Walls.
Oh
Grandpa
yeah,
in the Walls.
there was no person in the walls in this movie.
No, but it's like, you know, here where there's almost no plot progression at all. It's like, here's our premise. Our premise is you can't say bye-bye, man. Okay, you're in a house.
Characters wander around and try and stop each other from saying bye-bye, man, for 90 minutes.
Well, no, they don't. They do that at the very end. And the first 85 minutes is we hear noises. Are you guys talking in the basement? You were down in the basement? No. Bye-bye, man. This is doing something to your head. For some reason...
Don't think it, don't say it. The bye-bye, man.
The only plot element in the film is that his nightstand, the guy, a crazy guy in the past who was writing a news article about a teenager in Iowa who killed his family, wrote, don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it, in the drawer of a nightstand. And underneath it, for no reason at all, he wrote, bye-bye, man.
Well, that's the thing I didn't understand. Like, if he doesn't want people to... Because the whole idea is that...
Jay, it was there so that the main character could read it.
It's there so the plot would happen. Yeah,
Yes.
The premise is, if you say the bye-bye man, the bye-bye man will come for you, to kill you. And anyone that you tell about it, if they know about the bye-bye man, it'll come for them as well.
Even if they just think it in their brains.
Apparently, and then so it spreads from there, kind of like It Follows, and a little bit like It Follows. Only the rules in It Follows make sense, because the whole idea, like, the bye-bye man will come for you and kill you, so you have to kill everyone that you told the bye-bye man about.
It's like spreading a disease or an idea, like...
But why go around and kill everybody that you told it to if the bye-bye man's just going to kill him anyway?
It's like a chain email.
Sure.
Don't forward it. If you're the last one who doesn't forward it, it doesn't go on.
Sure. But so it's this guy that goes around and he shoots the people he told in the opening prologue, which is shot like a comedy film. First of all, the very first shot of the movie is overexposed. And that's when I was like, oh no, like immediately. It's a shot of a house, and it's a white house, and it's like overexposed. But yeah, so that's the guy. He goes around, he kills everybody that he told about the bye-bye man. So if he doesn't want this to spread further, why would he carve the bye-bye man into a nightstand?
Oh, you know why, Jay? I'm remembering it now. Do you remember when the terrible actress in the film wrote...
Which one?
The blonde. There's only one actress in the film, or other than...
the main blonde, the one that was struggling to have a convincing American accent through the whole thing?
Yes. Oh, it wasn't obvious she was British at all.
Yeah, and the house, maybe he can find somewhere else.
Her job is an actress, though.
Yeah.
She's an actress.
Okay.
And actresses typically completely and totally fail to deliver lines properly. Convincingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why they put them in movies.
Sure.
She was writing in her journal, like, bye-bye, man.
Yeah.
So I think the guy did it. The bye-bye man made him do it when he was not aware of it. Because remember, the kid falls asleep in the library for like 2 hours writing bye-bye man, or don't think it, don't spray it, or whatever. Say it, don't spray it. Over and over again in a journal. So I think it was that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And also the bye-bye man has 2 coins
That's
do something.
There's a whole mythology to the bye-bye man. This movie is nothing but why moments. Or I kept saying, but why? Because like they set up the bye-bye man. You know he's coming for you if you hear coins hit the floor. And I'm like, why? What do coins have to do with anything? And then you see his hell dog that looks like uncooked meatloaf in dog form. And I'm like, why?
Uncooked CGI meatloaf.
Why does he have a dog? And then there's a train that I don't know why the train has anything to do with it.
Numbers on it.
Yeah, like it makes sense. There's a part in the trailer that you see where, because the bye-bye man makes you see things or not see things depending on the scenario, that it result in you getting killed or killing yourself. And so there's a part in the trailer where a girl's walking towards train tracks. She doesn't see that the train is coming, and the train hits her and kills her. So it's like, okay, there's a train in that scene, but the opening of the movie, they just keep cutting to shots of this train coming towards the camera. And when the Bye-Bye Man's coming, you hear a train, and I was like, why?
I think it was the editor desperately trying to make the movie work. I think he was trying to make it like weird and surreal.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just add this shit here and maybe it'll help.
Yeah.
Because the footage that they turned in was a dumpster fire.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's explaining all these details of the mythology. So it's like it's over-explaining, but at the same time, you never understand any of it. It's very bizarre.
Here's what I think happened. The director of this film is a lady by the name of Stacy Title, and her husband, who plays the gay stereotype Mr. Daisy, is an actor, and he's also a screenwriter, and he wrote this dumpster fire. So I think they said, let's make some money and come up with a shitty horror movie, exactly like we did recently.
Only we did that in 5 minutes as a joke.
We'll come up, yeah, exactly. We'll come up with a shitty premise, and we'll have a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we'll just add these things in that make no sense, and teens won't care.
Rated PG-13.
And we're gonna make our $14.5 million budget in a weekend, and we'll make some profit, and that's what they did. It's despicable.
And the more you think about him, the closer he gets.
He's trying to get inside us. Jesus.
Oh, also, the Bye-Bye Man, we learn at the end, he comes towards our main character, and he's got these long, bony fingers, and he touches the forehead of our main character, and that makes the main character have like Bye-Bye Man Tourette's.
Don't say it again. Just go.
Where it's like he keeps wanting to shout out the name the Bye-Bye Man, which will spread, the Bye-Bye Man's,
Well, the threat is that he's gonna spread it to his niece.
to his older brother and his niece, who show up randomly at the house. But if the Bye-Bye Man could just make you say his name, why doesn't he just do that from the beginning? Because the kid's like holding his mouth. It's like comical. It's so terrible. It's like a scene out of Liar Liar or something, where he's trying to not say the name, the Bye-Bye Man.
Bye-bye, man.
Well, okay, so we got to mention that drawer, because at a certain point, our main character, the first hour of the movie, he looks stoned and bored. He's like this, and then he loses his mind.
He has more baggage under his eyes than an airliner.
Let's just let that one kind of sit for a little while.
Sorry, when he flew in to do the movie shoot, he forgot to check the bags under his eyes. Is that better?
That's a little better.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So I just needed a moment.
But once he realizes what's happening, and he's very pissed off at the dresser, because that's a plot.
Nightstand.
The nightstand.
God damn it.
He's very angry at the nightstand, and so he grabs it, because that's what has the Bye-Bye Man carved into it, and he runs outside, and their house is kind of in the middle of nowhere, so he's running out of the woods, and I was like, oh, he's gonna burn it. He's gonna set it on fire. But instead, he just kind of throws it into the woods, conveniently, so someone can find it later.
Well, they set up the fact that his niece, right, his older brother's daughter,
Yes.
may have read the Bye-Bye Man.
Yeah.
And so the older brother is driving back from the house where his younger brother just blew his brains out, spoilers. And the little girl's like, Daddy, when I went in the woods to pee, I found a nightstand. And he's like, oh, tell me about this nightstand. Yeah. Really? I don't give a flying fuck. I gotta call the funeral home, and I gotta call his parents. But he's very interested in the nightstand because the movie needs him to be. And they said, what was in the nightstand? Well, I pulled the drawer open and there was writing in it. Oh, what did this writing say? And we as an audience are supposed to be on the edge of our fucking seat.
Is she gonna say the Bye-Bye Man?
Oh no, the Bye-Bye Man she knows the Bye-Bye Man and their whole family's fucked. I really care about this terrible 5-year-old actress and her family. I'm so concerned. And then she's like, I don't know. I couldn't see. What am I, a flashlight? And then it just cuts to them driving away. And It's like, oh, we're supposed to be relieved. It was so bad.
He makes us do things.
Faye Dunaway and Carrie Ann Moss are in this film.
Yeah, that was more of a shock because I knew Carrie Ann Moss was in it from the trailers, but then Faye Dunaway shows up, and I just felt so bad for her. She was in like Chinatown and Network and all these great movies, and then she gets set on fire for 5 seconds in this. But it's a fake out!
You want my help?
Yes.
Here. Kill the ones you killed first, and then kill yourself. It's the only way.
There's one scene in it that was so bad.
Only one?
Well, okay. So our main character is trying not to say the words "bye-bye, man," and he's going crazy.
Yeah.
And he's driving somewhere.
I think they're trying to do a thing like Nightmare on Elm Street where the kids are, they're not sleeping, so they start to get a little, but this one, it's completely ridiculous.
Right. Well, the Bye Bye Man's messing with their heads. Yeah. So he's driving, and then they're playing that song, "Bye Bye Love, Bye Bye Loneliness. I think I'm gonna cry." Yeah. Oh, we're gonna get flagged by YouTube. He's driving. He's like, and it's like, is it supposed to be like?
Yeah, he's singing along, and I think it's supposed to be like, oh, he's losing his mind, but it just comes across completely comical as he violently shakes in the car while he's singing.
I think it was supposed to be like clever or quirky, or it was a complete.
All I know
disaster.
is whatever they were going for, they failed completely. It felt like I was thinking, like, did Tommy Wiseau direct this scene?
Yeah, it felt like a Tommy Wiseau movie.
And then the hound, that's how you know he's coming. When you see the hound and you hear the coins, that's when you know he's close by.
There's another flower shop scene. The girl, the blonde, goes to the what is it? Where do you cook flowers in? Greenhouse?
Oh,
she goes in the
yeah, I forgot that scene was in the movie.
He's like the bald guy, and he's got the goatee
That's
or
right,
something.
yeah.
And I don't know why she goes there to ask like where her friends are or something.
Something. And
she's like, "Oh, it's cold in here." And he's like, "My dear, it's hot as fuck in here. It's a greenhouse. You gotta go to bed."
No, it's just like, you gotta see a doctor. Or you're sick or something.
But she's like, "Oh no, he's the landlord. He's the guy that owns the house that they're living in."
That's right.
So she goes to ask him if he thinks the house is creepy. That's the scene.
You have a weird house, Mr. Daisy. You know that. It is. I think it might be haunted.
And he's like, "Why, no?" She's like, "Do you remember you rented this house out to me and my two friends?" He's like, "Oh, yes. You're very handsome male friends."
Oh, yes, those handsome boys. Are you with them?
"I'm a gay and my name's Mr. Daisy and I play with flowers." I'm like, why the fuck is this in the movie? Why is he gay? What is the point of that? So dumb. And then she's like, "I'm cold." And he's like, "You shouldn't be cold. It's a greenhouse. It's really, really hot in here and humid. You should go to bed." And then the scene ends. So
Mr. Daisy went back to his home planet.
Yes, or Crescenda Bones, "You're my best customer." It's the equivalency of that.
The high doggy scene from the room.
High doggy.
Oh, the black roommate early in the movie. He tries to hook up with like cult girl that's into the occult stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then the next morning he's like, "Sorry, that's never happened to me before." And I was like, "Did the Bye Bye Man make him lose his boner?
No,
is that what's happening?"
Yeah, and she couldn't get off either.
Yeah.
She's like, "I had never had that either, where I couldn't finish sex." And then they're just like, and then he sees maggots in her hair, and then the scene ends. So yeah, Bye Bye Man has the ability to give you erectile dysfunction.
Which is really the most terrifying part of the film.
Why? Again, why?
But why?
Why?
Don't say it. Don't think it.
It spreads like a virus.
Don't say it. Don't think it.
Bye Bye Man. Why with the name? And also, his name is not. It's not the wonderful. What's that one name we always make fun of? Bagul, or Rumpelstiltskin, or some other crazy name that no one would ever accidentally say. Bye Bye Man is pretty common to say. Like those three words in a sequence probably have happened.
Sure.
So it's not like some secret magic word.
Well, he even finds it, the main character finds it in a newspaper article that was never published when he goes to the library, because that's a scene that they still put in movies. And he prints out the article, and he's like scribbling it out with a pen, as if that's going to make the Bye-Bye Man disappear. Like you can still see it through the pen. And then the sassy black librarian lady comes up, and she's like, hey, they need a bigger body count in this movie, so I'm here now. The Bye-Bye Man.
Let's talk about Miss Watkins.
Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay.
I know that because she calls their house phone, which 19-year-olds have, and the caller ID on their house phone says Watkins.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, who the fuck is Watkins? And then it was Miss Watkins, who somehow knew his home phone number. I guess they're like BFFs.
They're best friends. They bonded over their 5-second conversation about the Bye-Bye Man.
Oh, Miss Watkins. She's like, I'll come by your house. Like, well, you know his house? You guys are friends? What the fuck's going on? And then so Miss Watkins has murdered her whole family.
Or people at the library, maybe?
No, it's her home.
Oh, it's her home. Okay.
She kills her children and her husband, and with a butcher knife.
Yeah.
And then, like, calmly and collectively says, I'm going to come to your house now.
I think it's supposed to be she doesn't realize she did it because she's under the control of the Bye-Bye Man.
No, that defeats the purpose of the Bye-Bye Man. If you have to do it on
But that's
your
what
own accord.
happens in the movie.
No, I think she knew she was doing it.
Kill the ones you killed first, and then kill yourself. It's the only way.
And then so our hero, what was his name? The actor's name is Doug Smith. But Douglas Smith is driving his car, and he's like, I figured out how to stop you, Bye-Bye Man. I'm just going to ignore all your visions.
Yeah. Like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I'm going to not be scared of you, and that'll take away your power.
Right. And he's driving his car, and he sees his friend in the middle of the road, and he's like, this is just an apparition. And it goes whoosh, and goes through him, and he's like, gotcha, Bye-Bye Man. And then he looks back for no reason to see if the apparition is behind him. And he's like this. And what's going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen when he turns to look? Oh my God, it's Miss
Watkins in the middle of the road, in the middle of the country for some reason.
She's
Why is she out there?
She's walking to his house with a butcher knife. It's hard to drive one-handed.
Oh, okay.
But holding a butcher knife. And then he plows into Watkins and sends her into a tree. And somehow she's still holding onto her butcher knife.
Yeah.
It could spread everywhere.
I'm not gonna let it happen. Please!
Don't say it! Don't think it!
So Jay, would you recommend The Bye-Bye Man?
You know, it's sort of tempting to, just out of a, like, so bad it's good level, but most of the movie is too boring to even recommend it as that. It's really only the last, like, half hour where funny things start to happen. But it's so bad and so, like, baffling that it's almost worth seeing just to witness it for yourself.
Yeah, it's bordering on a good B movie, but not bad enough.
If that first hour wasn't so dull, like if the funny moments were kind of sprinkled throughout the whole thing,
yeah,
it would be easier to recommend.
I feel so bad for that lead actor.
Don't say it again. Just go.
It was so bad. Am I still recommending this? Yeah. Don't see it in the theater because I don't want this movie to make any money.
That's the problem, is it has made money, which is encouraging to people that make shit like this, which is a bad thing.
It's a bar lowerer.
Yeah.
It's they say this movie has raised the bar. This movie has lowered the bar for people to try even less when making horror films because they know it's like you just need that gimmick. You need that. It reminded me of Connect the Cuts, that stupid ass movie.
Oh, The Devil Inside.
It's like, we need a little thing that people are going to get chills when they hear this new phrase. Don't say it, don't think it. Oh my God, it's like The Ring.
Yeah.
And like they're going to, like, and then so the poster is, the little scratchy handwriting. Oh, and another thing too.
We can't stop talking about the Bye-Bye Man.
When I was watching it, the scenes in 1969 that look like they're shot like a comedy film?
Yes.
When Faye Dunaway shows up and she tells her story about her husband with the shotgun, and she comes home and she's like, I came home from work, and he's like in the corner and he's writing, don't
it's
say
all
it.
over the walls.
Yeah, don't say it, don't speak it, and it's like comically written on the ceiling, and it's even on the TV screen. It's like covered everywhere like a cartoon, and she's like, whatever his name was, Bob, what have you done?
Larry, oh my God.
And I just wanted to cut to her and go, I love it. I'm like, the way she said it, it was like a perfect setup for like, I love it. Like this is a great thing. You've decorated the house with these words, and it made such an improvement on our house. It was such a setup for a bait and switch joke. And it didn't happen. And I was like, oh,
and visually, it looked like a comedy.
Visually, it looked like it was setting it up for that. And I was like, oh, wait, this isn't a funny movie, right? I'm supposed to be scared or creeped out, right?
Right.
This is not a joke. Yeah, you have that poster with the scratchy writing and the Monster Man, and it's kind of sinister looking, not like the movie, not actually sinister looking, but and so you just got people that'll go watch it. And so now the bar has been set so low that someone's going to steal our idea for Old Lady in the Walls.
Well, we got to shoot it next week to make sure that we get in on it before they do. Although we need a dumber title than The Inside now. We need something that sounds laughable.
Scratch, scratch. Who's that wretch?
What?
It doesn't make any sense. That's why we'll use it.
I guess it doesn't have to, right?
Scratch, scratch. Who's that wretch? Ooh, that's creepy.
It's written in a scratchy font. That means it's scary.
Like a crazy person would do in an insane asylum with the scratches. Yeah. It's prefabricated creepy. It's not creepy on its own. It's prefabrication of creepy.
Yes.
And this movie, it's going to turn a profit, and it sickens me. Yeah, it's too late for all of you who've already watched this movie. So thanks. And we're going to have to review Bye Bye Man 2. What's shocking is that it has a 27% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
That high?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just surprisingly high. But I don't know who the fuck would give it a positive review. It's probably some like critic who's like just sitting there like.
It's like the fourth movie he's seen that day.
Yeah,
he's not even paid attention.
Oh yeah, some scary things are happening. I'm a man who has some familiar thrills, but overall, it's a mediocre horror film. Yeah, I'll be home soon. It's probably that situation. It's a sad state of affairs. But so I partially recommend Bye Bye Man for your own personal humor. Just watch the Miss Watkins scenes. Watch that woman act. It's just charming.
Well, you're definitely onto some creepy stuff, Elliot, because I did some research of my own.
She's so bad. Her and the little girl, and the blonde, and I think those are the three that stand out as just being god awful. Yeah.
Tell me.
Bye Bye Man.
Well, Jay, it's almost 5:30, and it's time to meet with the lawyer so that he could file the power of attorney paperwork.
Okay.
Are you ready to be Mrs. Harry Plinkett?
Oh, I have to be a Mrs.? That's not how gay marriage works.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh.
I can still be a Mr.
Oh, okay. I just assumed you'd be the bitch. Because Mr. Plinkett, he's so masculine. I see him as more of a top. I'm sorry though. What we do need though is proof of a public ceremony.
Oh.
That a public ceremony has taken place.
Really?
Yes. So our next adventure, Jay, will be to set up a fake wedding ceremony with Mr. Plinkett, have it videotaped, and have him not be aware of what's going on.
Okay.
So
that sounds somewhat convoluted, but I guess we do what we gotta do.
So what we need is to fabricate a wedding with you and Mr. Plinkett, have guests in attendance, and have him think that he's being honored for an award.
Okay.
And then when the officiant says, you may now kiss the bride or the husband,
yeah,
you'll have to neck with Plinkett. I know his breath smells like a trash bin. And he may have many oral diseases, but you've got to do this for the good of cash. That's the end.